Hello, writers. We've reached that point in the semester where we are going to start doing asynchronous workshops, where our workshops up until this point have been in class. We are now going to start doing workshops outside of class. So where we've been doing reading and exercises, we are now going to be looking at each other's work. And part of the reason that we started out this semester by workshopping in class is so that you would feel comfortable being able to read each other's work and knowing what to talk about on your own. And that's what we're starting to do. So I'm looking at our workshop schedule, and everyone signed up for a couple of dates at the beginning of the semester. And as we go down, you'll note that there are two March 15th. And I've reformatted this to make it a little easier to understand. You'll also notice that there's two March 19th. And so this is where our real-time workshops, the workshops we're doing in class, and our asynchronous workshops overlap. And we're going to be doing real-time workshop in class and also during our asynchronous time during the rest of the week. The reason that I had to have them overlap like this is because we have such a large class. I want to make sure everyone is able to be workshopped twice. And currently, we still have people who have not yet done their real-time workshop. Through no fault of their own, you can see the schedule is absolutely packed all the way back to the beginning of the semester. So, this is why I wanted to make this video, to talk about the asynchronous workshop. This is going to be, first we'll talk about how to turn in writing for the asynchronous workshop, and then we'll talk about critiquing for asynchronous workshops. The real-time workshops are going to be the same. You know about them. Turn in work before class. We come in, the author reads the work, we discuss the work, and we move on to the next person. So those are staying the same. So you know how to do those. And when you are turning in work for an asynchronous workshop, what you're turning in is going to be largely the same, meaning that the process for turning in a real-time workshop piece and the process for turning in an asynchronous workshop piece are the same. You will turn in your work on the day that you have signed up for. So in this case, March 15th, the students will be turning in their writing into the discussion forum for the real-time workshop. These students will be turning in their writing on March 15th before class for the asynchronous workshop, but it's the same discussion forum. There aren't different discussion forums, and that's fine. We have this list. We know which ones we're looking at real-time, and then we'll know which ones we're going to be looking at throughout the rest of the week. And so that's it. You still want to turn in a Google Doc. You still want to make sure that the other students have access to it. You want to make sure that we can comment on it. And you turn in your work, 2 to 3 pages. There you go. Easy enough. Okay? Now, what is going to change just a little bit, and I'm actually going to jump over to D2L here, is how we critique the work. That is going to shift just a little bit. So if we go under assignment descriptions and we go to, let's see, weekly and workshop writing assignment sheet. No, sorry, Zoom and asynchronous critique directions. This is the one. This tells us how we are going to read the work. Not how we're turning in our workshop work, but how we as the critiquers are going to read and comment on it. And you already know how we do Zoom critiques, right? We discuss. It's a nice discussion. For asynchronous critiques, things change just a little bit. Instead of having a real-time discussion, we're going to be writing our comments. And note that you have, from class time, that is when the writers will be turning in their workshop pieces, you have from then on Monday until Saturday at 11:50 p.m. Okay, so this gives you between Monday and Saturday to be able to do these critiques. You get to do them when you want. And there's some benefits to this. One is that you get to read the piece at your own pace. 2, you can think about the piece for a little bit longer than we have in class. There are different styles of workshopping, and this is another style of workshopping where you read it on your own and then you are responsible for writing comments on the work. So let's actually talk about those requirements. Okay. Like I said, you're going to find the 3 pieces. You're going to be workshopping asynchronously for the week. You can check our schedule to see whose work you should be doing, or should be critiquing. If you have any questions, make sure you're signed into your Google account so we know who says what. And then you're going to read the work and you're going to add comments just like you did during the real-time critique, the Zoom critiques. And there are some requirements to this now. One is that you need to add at least 3 comments to the piece. Okay, these comments should be full sentences, and for every comment that you have that's less than 3, your grade for this critique will go down by 20%. Okay, so this is the same type of gesture that we've been doing. Add compliments where you see things that you like. Add comments about sentence level things and paragraph level things. That's what these comments are for. You use the comment function to be able to add them. And this is what we have been doing informally during our Zoom critiques. So same thing, just a little more formalized. Then, at the end of the piece, you are going to write a paragraph discussing the piece overall. So the comments talk about small things. The discussion at the end of the piece is about what you see the work doing overall, your overall observations and suggestions and compliments. Okay, these should be at least 4 sentences. Every sentence less than 4 will reduce that critique grade by 10%. Okay, so instead of having the discussion, this is now what we've replaced it with. We've replaced it with comments inside the piece and a paragraph at the end of the piece. And note, you can still have discussions asynchronously, even though we're not over Zoom and talking face-to-face, right, digitally face-to-face, you can still talk to one another. You can respond to other people's comments. You can respond to other people's paragraphs, although you do not want to rewrite their paragraph, but you can say, hey, I saw so-and-so mention this, and this is what I think about that. So we can still have a discussion about the work. We can agree with one another, disagree with one another. We can do all of that. We're just not doing it real time. Okay? A couple of other things to note about this paragraph at the end. You want to leave it in the document itself, not as a comment on the side. Inside the document, you actually want to type your suggestions, your findings, your overall observations. The other thing is that you want to add your name, so I can give you credit. And I mean that so much I added it twice. So I'll remove one of these. Okay. And what should you comment on? As I mentioned earlier, it's all the things that we've been talking about in class. Those workshops that we do face-to-face, you are now going to be bringing up those same topics. You're just going to be doing it asynchronously. Okay, so give compliments, give suggestions. Remember to be kind with one another as you do all this. Okay, so this is the second style of workshop that we're doing in the class. And let's go back to our schedule here. We do have the overlap, right? We have 2 weeks of overlap. Over spring break, we will have an asynchronous workshop. Not a synchronous workshop, right? We don't have class, but you do have a little bit of work to do over spring break. And then we have the 29th. And then after that, all of our workshops will be asynchronous. And what we'll be doing during class time then are exercises and activities and writing. All the stuff that you have been doing asynchronously, we will then do in class together. And we'll continue our workshopping during the second half of the week. So hopefully this makes sense. Of course, if you have questions or concerns, let me know and I will help you out.